Holy F. We have a problem. This is a bearish engulfing candle. That's right, it looks like the bears might be back. Stocks are selling off today, notably chips. So, what exactly is happening? Well, if we look here to the ES, which is the E mini futures, again, keyword here being the futures, it trades overnight. We printed a higher high, we printed a lower low, which turned into a bearish engulfing candle. If we look here to a weekly candle, what this basically means is that we have a failed breakout. We have last week's high, looking over here at the H. We have 6863. What do we have here? 6864. So we went higher, fell back below, failed breakout. And we got that one-day bearish engulfing candle. If we go back here to SPY, it does look a little bit different. We actually have a gap down pump up, which means we have a hollow candle, or there was actually dip buying during the day. If we look at our open, 678.8, our low, 678.74, which basically means we opened up, gap down, pumped up, and then gave some back into the close here. We can see that right here. So here's our open. We can see it right here, our open. We push higher, we sell off, and they power slam the close with a ton of volume. What else is new? Well, not a whole lot. So I'm going to tell you exactly what this means for me because, maybe I was wrong again. That's right. Was I wrong again? It doesn't really matter. I'm here to make money, not to be right. So if you want to tell me I'm wrong, hey, no problem. Drop me a comment. Tell me why I'm wrong. Over here, we can note the headline from today's video says that there is $96 billion in debt. What's going on here, Sammy? So is it time for some Sammy time? OpenAI partners are carrying $96 billion in debt, highlighting growing risk around the loss-making AI company. Raro, is that why chips are selling off? Well, isn't this a company they have a partnership with? Yeah. AVGO is a big partner of theirs. First Solar's down, lots of things are down. So it's really over here we're seeing that pain, but then also over here in utilities, what do utilities do? Oh, they provide power and data to the data centers. That's right. They power them. So over here, it looks like that's what the sell-off is today. We can note there's a couple of winners as well, like APP, Synopsys, which has a deal with NVIDIA. And otherwise, it's really this. $96 billion in debt. So the more you spend, the bigger your debt gets. Jensen says the more you spend, the more you save. But, ooh, this doesn't look so hot. So we can go through here and find out exactly what's happening. $30 billion is already being borrowed by SoftBank, Oracle, and CoreWeave. $20 billion being taken out by Blue Owl Capital. And that company actually has a little bit of questions right now. Also SoftBank, also Oracle, also CoreWeave. $38 billion on the table in further talks with Oracle and Vantage and their banks. $96 billion in total. Wowzers. That does not include the Magnificent Seven. The increased use of debt is a relatively new development. And the debt markets are actually getting a little bit flooded with all of these mega cap companies because there's an onslaught of debt and everybody has it. And ChatGPT just turned 3. So what's happening here? Because it looks like there's a little bit of a Mr. Hanky in the Christmas bowl. That's right, Mr. Hanky. What's going on here? Well, there's then versus now. So 3 years ago into year 1 versus where we are right now into year 3. And this is where, as you can see on the slide here, it says that we're entering the infrastructure era. So, Mr. Hanky, what's going on here, buddy? OpenAI sits at the center of the AI boom that has started, but it faces increasing challenges around both the business and the technology itself. Sam, what are you doing here? He's like, yeah, I was going to be nonprofit. Now I'm trying to make profit, and making profit is just not as easy as it sounds. Sora is a money-losing machine. It just burns capital. This reminds me, like I said before, of the pot stink days because they did exactly the same thing. They ran very efficient furnaces. I say it's a furnace because guess what a furnace needs? It needs continuous fuel. And that's exactly what this company is offering them. Non-stop fuel. Or what? Money. $96 billion has gone poof already. All right, so we can see there's a lot of challenges here. A market linchpin, concerns around the AI bubble have boiled over this month, leading to a sell-off that's hit the tech stocks hard. Ooh. Are LLMs the path to AGI? They don't actually know facts or understand logic. No, they don't. You ever talk to one of these robots? They are so confident in a couple of things. I'll ask you for a huge favor. Could you please consider smashing the thumbs up or subscribing to the channel? Thank you very much. They tend to be yes man, and they tend to tell you what you want to hear, and they sound very confident. Wait, confident. So we heard that before? Let's go over to here. Let's have a look at the how to make a plan. Psychology charts. Is it in here? I think it is. Maybe it's here. Let me just double check because this is an important one for me. Psychology chart. So it's a confidence band. It's a con man. They're very confident when they're talking to you. Almost every prompt ends with, "Do you want to tell me yes?" That's called a yes man. And oftentimes when you ask it, "Can you please go verify that thing you just told me that was correct?" It says, "Actually, I can't do that." Yeah, that's called a con man. He's very confident and they need you to keep using it. Our expectations have gone up have gone up so much that we expect our capability to be realized instantly. There is so much capability in AI at the moment that it is still to be realized. I would agree. And Jensen was out there talking about Synopsys today and saying that every industry is going to get changed. Well, okay, cool. Well, where were we then? Where are we now? ChatGPT is the Google killer. Uh-oh. Empire striking back. Google approaching 4 trillion. That's where I move over, Sammy. We got Google in town here. All right, they got through their Department of Justice thing, gap up, then went higher, gap up again. Warren Buffett invests. Well, that's the earnings. Sorry, earnings. Warren Buffett invests, and now we're booming. With 4 full candles in a row, it does look like Google's going to go back down and fill this gap right here. I'm talking about this area right here. So I'm expecting now that we're going to see a bit of a sell-off, and we'll see what is actually happening here. Because remember, the S&P 500 has 500 companies, and OpenAI is not a public company. And Oracle's in the S&P, but the other ones aren't, right? So we don't have Mr. Masayoshi over in America, right? We don't have SoftBank over here. So these 500 companies do include Google. They do include AVGO. So if we're going to see some losses here, we're going to have to see some leadership emerge. Oh, there's Mr. Apple. There we go, Timmy. So we talked about the potential for a gap and go. And it looks like Apple is taking the baton. He's like, you know what, Google, you don't worry, buddy. I got it here. Bullish engulfing candle, bullish engulfing candle, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. This stock looks really strong. It's a really big company too. It really matters because there's a push-pull happening right now. Look at this nice little sell-off right here. Crash, bullish engulfing candle though. So what is going to happen? I don't know. Right? As we look here and we talked about NVIDIA before, what I see is this. I see a head and shoulders. So shoulder, head, shoulder. We do have the lower wicks, but until we claim or close back above this area, I'm going to say it is TBD or to be determined. All right. So with a couple of charts out of the way, what else do we have here? Smartest model. That was their moat. Chips, cloud, and distribution. That means the stack. That's what the TPU or tensor processor unit is helping Google with. They have their own software, they have their own hardware, they have their own chips, and there's no dips over there, right? There's nothing. The fast-moving startup, the winner. And now deep pocket incumbents are like, yeah, no problem. We got cash flow. We're going to keep flowing that cash. So this really comes down to the 2 things we talked about on the weekend. And I'll leave a link for you there if you want to go watch them. So we talked about the bearish scenario. We talked about the bullish scenario. I'm not going to go through these right now because you can go back and watch the weekend video, which I will leave for you. So here's what I said. On the 1 month, what we should do, we should be cautious. Why? Well, because we printed a lower low, but it ended up being a failed breakdown. So I still give the bulls the edge here. I also mentioned that we closed at or near the high, which implies it does not guarantee there's going to be a higher high. It just means there's likely to be continuation. That fizzled out today. I'll also remind you of one more quick thing. If we go back here to the S&P, look at the 1-day chart. Let's actually go back to the last 10 minutes, right? Let's go to a 10-minute candle. Let's look and see what happened into the pump on Friday, right? There's no Black Friday here, pump. So from the close of the candle, 682 to the high at 683.39, that was so important because it basically meant that we went back to green on the month. Looking right here, last month we closed higher by $1.33. So this rally from low to high is what really made us turn green. If pretend we didn't close at 683, but 680, we'd be down by $2. $2? Yeah. We'd be down by $2 less, sorry. Am I right about that? Let me see here. 682 to 683, $1 less. We'd be down by 0.3%. What would I call that? I call that a gap down pump up, and dips are for buying. So yeah, today's video says, oh my goodness, there's a lot of debt. Of course there's debt. For every $1 in circulation, there's like what, $10 or $20 in debt, if not more? The debt market's huge. That's called the bond market. Oh, bonds, treasuries, debt. Yeah, there's a lot of debt out there. So I don't know what's going to happen. Here's what I said. My question was, does it hold? Well, I just showed you ES did not hold. If we're going to go down, hey, grab your guacamole. So we're going to have some chips and then some nice guacamole. If we fall below 650, that's where I start to get a little bit concerned. Otherwise, what do I say here? Record weekly close. When in doubt, be patient. So if you're not sure what to do, wait for the chart to resolve itself. I would argue we're going range bound. Oh, it does look like a volume climax. So if the low holds, again, we're looking at a 1 week chart here. The low was held. So yeah, power pump into the close. The odds were that we were going to go higher. But remember, if we make a plan, we should not be too surprised with what happens here. Up, down, all around. Maybe others don't need a plan, Justin. Maybe others need a plan, Justin. I don't. Well, you're reading, so apparently you do, and you're not special. I need a plan too. Go through here. Second link in the description if you want to see all of these free notes. All right. Now that we talked about being range bound, where can we go back down to? Oh, 650. So if the idea of going down to 650 scares you, and we're only down by $3, what happens if we drop by 30 more or 10x the decline? That's roughly a guacamole dip, right? 5% dip. Not even some pico de gallo. Over here on Bitcoin, oh my goodness, we got a bear market. So from high to low, we dropped a lot. From the high right here all the way down to the low. Ouch, 36%. That's a big decline. That's more than a bear market. There is death on the chart. That's not good. Have a look over here too. Dollars down, gold is up, 10-year note up, VIX is up. What does that mean? People are scared. They're buying silver, new record high. Oil, copper, Dr. Copper, oil, which is the lubricant of the economy, silver, which is a precious metal and industrial metal, and then gold. Oh, curious. So all the things you would say that are scary, right? That's what people are buying. But as we go through here, SMH is green. XLG, which are the large caps, was down by what? 0.3%. RSPT down by 0.3%, attempting to reclaim the 50 EMA. Nice. Mags are slightly red, but overall, it's actually pretty mixed. NVIDIA, Apple, Amazon, get up there, buddies. Let's go. Over here, we can see it is also a mixed picture. We got IET, KRE, which are regional banks up, energy up. We got XLK, which are the mega caps up. And a lot of things aren't really doing all that bad. Silver's doing pretty good here, looking around to the rest of the world. China looks okay, and so does Mexico here. All right, so what does this mean? It means people are going a little bit risk off. Look at Bitcoin and ETH, right? The nonstop selling. It just won't stop selling. Yep. All right, now let's talk about a few quick ideas since you're still watching. DJT. So we talked about this one here. We got a trim on it, so we literally can't lose. I like the stock. ELF. What happened here? Oh, we also got a trim. Yes, we did. So what does this mean? This is great. The two names that I talked about, we literally cannot lose on. If now I go here to my system, we can see them right here. We got realized profit. So we trimmed both. We literally cannot lose. And we have an open gain of 1.1% on the portfolio. That's pretty damn good from these two little stonks. Yeah, they're dragging up our portfolio nicely here. Here's the curious part. If we look over here to our radar, which basically looks at what is coming due, we have monthly alerts. We can see they're due not that far from now. They'd have to rally by 40 or 50% to pop off. But what this also means is that we'd have to rally by 40 or 50% for these to go up. Risk reward's not all that great, but I'm just telling you that these have progression to a higher time frame. So when we look here, like 40 or 50% more, like we're only looking for another, this would be another 2.3% gain on the account. We do some quick little back of the napkin math here. Let's see what the numbers are. So if we go here to 128 divided by 77, just rough math, 66%. Yeah, that gets us pretty close to our target here. That'd be pretty good. We're already up by 1.1% unrealized. We got the realized gains here because they're real. We trim them. Those should be 0.25% each because they're half the size. I'm not going to overcomplicate things. What that basically means is that I think ELF can run to its target. Let's look at DJT. What was DJT at here? DJT was 40%. Oh, ELF is actually 50. So that gets us closer to here. Let's go back to the calculator. Handy calculator. Let's go 128 divided by 77. So it's actually pretty close here. 66%. We were looking at 55-ish. All right. Now, so for DJT, the Donald J. Trump media, what's happening here? So we got 13.28 divided by 10.95. We need a rally of roughly 20% more. Well, according to our system, again, is this a system, right? It doesn't matter. If you have a plan, you should be okay with up, down, or sideways. And if your worst case scenario is that you give back profit which is literally what could happen here. We give back the profit we made. Excellent. You can also close the positions out. I'm not doing that because we're testing right now, but that's exactly what I was thinking of doing. I got 13% unrealized right now. That's hugely bigly, right? That's big gains for me. I'm really happy with that. All right, so moving forward now, I'll give you some other hot tips if you come onto the stream for tomorrow. So you can also go to thealgo.com. Our registration is currently open, and we are accepting memberships all the way through to December 31st. After that, we're going to be turning it off again. So if you want to come trade with me, there's a very long movie-length video here which explains exactly how my system works, exactly how I build my end-of-day report, exactly how I use my algo cycle. This is good information whether or not you want to join me. And I also discuss how I actually build my algo portfolio and create ideas. And I do the same thing with my 401k. So I show you precisely what I do with my accounts in my system. So if you want to learn that, come trade with me. Get direct access to me. Our Hall of Fame's done really good. BW was a notable gainer right now, which is actively in my account. Again, open positions here. My performance isn't all that bad either. If you want to register, you can see the prices right here, and that'll be open for you until the end of the year. And then we're likely going to reopen sometime around June of next year. So no time like the present if you want to come join me. And then there's a couple of bonuses here, which I'll walk you through very, very briefly. I don't often talk about selling stuff like a lot of other YouTubers, and I don't pretend at the front of the video that I got nothing to sell you. Don't smash nothing, don't click nothing, and then there's a promo right at the end every fucking time. Not me. I'm trying to be a little bit different. So after 6 months, our registration is now open. We want to offer you a lot of value. So if you look here, we actually offer you an accountability partner. If you want to come join me forever, you can invite a second person in for free. You can get 4 coaching calls with me for free. That's a lot of value. You get a call over here as well. And then additionally, you get all of these things. You get access to my algo portfolio, which I just showed you the free video on. You don't even have to pay me if you want to see how I manage my portfolio. You just have to do the work yourself. My 401k, exact same thing. Full transparency. Every idea, every order, for good or for bad. My report, which I deliver once a week, starting this weekend, hopefully. And then you get access or help from me within 2 hours between office hours. Private coaching from me. Private live streams on Friday. I'm not doing public live streams on Fridays anymore. They're only going to be private. And also priority on Q&A for YouTube, which means our streams. You get access to our Slack trading room, a 5-minute end of day report, which is this right here. It's our 5 minutes a day. Go up to the top if you want to see what that is. You can also build your own algo portfolio, which I just showed you. You get algo ideas. We get a radar tool. We get a trend tool. We get dark pool flow. We get an S&P 500 tool. We get a social club. We get group mentoring. We got a master class coming. And then if you want to join me for the lifetime, we got these things as well. A penthouse, beta access, and an accountability partner. Lastly, if you're an existing member or a new member, you can use your trailing 12 months of revenue towards a lifetime membership. It's our way of saying thank you because, believe it or not, I actually am extremely grateful for this community, including all these beautiful faces here, because these are all people who helped me build exactly what I have. This is from 2021. And I think there's like 45 testimonials in here. So that's Mishka, that's Peter. I've had so many great people join me, right? Here we got Anastasia and many, many, many more. So these are what the trades look like. All you have to literally do in your PDF is click on buy. So why I'm spending more time talking about this today is because I'm not going to likely talk about it very much between now and the end of the year. If you want to come join me, great. If not, hey, no problem either. I talked about how I want to build a free library out. I already got 2 tools here for you for free. So even if you don't want to join me, I would consider going to thealgo.com and click on these 2 things here. The first one's your quiz. You can go here to your archetype quiz. It takes 60 seconds. And this will be helpful whether or not you want to join me. It helps you help yourself. Now we got a DCA calculator here. Punch the numbers in and see how rich you can be. I'm not even joking. You don't have to learn how to trade stocks. You have to learn how to pay yourself first. All right. So with that said, you can come join me at thealgo.com. If you want to find out more, I will leave that link for the weekend video for you queued up right now on the left-hand side. Thanks so much.